Alright guys, let's get right into the video. I'm using Smashbox half primer, half moisturizer, and I'm going to let that dry in her face for about a minute before applying any makeup. Now first thing I like to do is apply a little bit of foundation on the eyelid before applying eyeshadow, but if you're like me and put way more than needed, no problem, you can just even the rest out on your face. Next, from the palette Modern Renaissance, I'm going to be using the shade Warm Taupe with a small brush. I'm going to be applying it on the outer corner of her eye to the inner corner of her eye, and I'm just going to keep blending it out till it smooths out nicely. I'm going to be using the same brush, using the shade Love Letter, and once again I'm going to start from the outer corner of the eye, working my way to the inner corner of the eye. Now going back to the outer corner of the eye, I'm applying Cypress Umber, and I'm not going to be applying too much or blending too much of it because later on in the video I will be blending it out. For her cut crease, I will be using a flat brush with concealer. Any concealer works just fine for the eyes. Then I just work my way around her eye. Then cover about 2/3 of her eye. And I'm not going to worry too much of how the outer corner of the eye looks with the concealer, because later on I'll blend all that out. Now I'm going to set the concealer with Tempera, and with the wet brush I'm going to go back in and apply Vermeer right on top of it. Once again, we're going back on the outer corner of the eyes using Cypress Umber to blend in the cut crease so the line isn't so harsh. And then I'm going to use the shade Venetian Red, and I'm going to do the same thing and just keep blending so that way the cut crease isn't harsh. Now using my finger, I'm applying more Vermeer on top of the cut crease just to give it a little bit more pop to the eye look. For her eyeliner, I'm going to be using a liquid eyeliner. Now before applying her lashes, I'm using Sumptuous Mascara. I like to put a layer in. And for her lashes, I apply them with my hand because it's a lot easier for me. Everyone's different, so whatever works for you. And then on her lower lashes, I'm going to be using a small brush going in with Cypress Umber. And then I'm going to go back in with Venetian Red, and I'm just going to apply some in the middle of her lower lashes. In my favorite part of the video, contour. I'm going to use the shade Sculpt, and I'm just going to contour based off her face. And now I'm going to go in with a brush and just blend that all in. Now to set the concealer under her eyes and to sharpen up the contour a little bit more, I'm going to use this brightening powder and I'm going to let it sit for about a minute. And now to contour her nose, I'm going to use the same palette I used to contour her face. I'm using Sculpt. And now for some blush. And now for her highlight, I'm going to be mixing bronze and moonstone, and I just go in with a big brush because you can never have too much highlight. And for her lips, I have no idea what lip liner this is because I can't find it, but all I know is it's from MAC. And with a tiny brush, I'm going to use the same palette and use Moonstone and go on the inner corner of her eyes and on her brow bone.
You might as well stop and start again.
No, stop! Dude, stop smiling.
Sorry. She's gonna be doing my makeup for a wedding. Hey guys. The name is Norm. Make sure to like, comment, share, and